Alright, guys, welcome back to MixedVibes, second podcast we do. Over here we got Afga, TM87, and Sholor with us today. Of course, with
Special guest.
yes, of
Hello
course, with
there.
the other host,
Hello.
Positivity over here.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so Sholor.
Yes, yes.
You have an
Is
amazing,
negativity
deep
okay? Or something
uh,
to watch?
passion for drums, apparently.
You just learned about that today.
As
didn't
we
Yes.
recently learned.
Yep. do.
Since when?
Since I was 15, turning 16, I started playing drums, and I got so obsessed that I was literally drumming about 16 hours a day, every day.
Holy.
I would do it while I was doing schoolwork, 'cause I was homeschooled in high school, so I would have like a study book with my math next to me, and I'd be looking at the study book, reading it, while I was drumming. And I did that for about
my
2 years before I started
Did the
calming
neighbors
down a little bit.
Did the neighbors ever like complain about the noise?
No, I've actually always lived on ranches, so
Oh,
I
so you
never
have
have neighbors close enough.
you say you
Yeah,
have space.
I used to drum. At one point, I would drum at like, I would get up around. So I was working at night, so I'd get up around like 11 in the afternoon, and then I'd go to sleep at about 4 or 5 a.m. And I'd be drumming from like probably midnight to 5.
Jeez, did your parents not complain?
They loved it. They thought it was the coolest thing. They were 100% behind me drumming.
But I mean, sleep. What?
Oh, they had a different side of the house. I was my room was actually not connected to the house. It was a disconnected little building because
I was
of the
gonna say
drum kit.
like a garage or something probably would have been like
me
the ideal
me
thing
and
for a
my
drum
dad
setter.
we actually built a lot of that house. Just me and him.
Oh.
So we built this giant addition that was like the size of the house, the original house, on the side,
Let's see.
and I was on the end of that.
Oh, there you
A
go.
little soundproof room.
So 2 years, is that like 2 years from now, or was it like, I don't know.
Oh no, so that was when I turned 16. Then for 2 years I was just ridiculously obsessed, and I would never stop tapping. After that, then I started calming down, and now I'm a somewhat normal person.
Someone.
Yeah, I mean you'll still if you drove around with me, you'd still see me tapping on the steering wheel and stuff like that.
Oh.
I can control it now, which is good.
Control it now. So you had no control whatsoever back then.
I remember some road trips I'd go on, and I had to always, whenever I drove, I'd have to bring a practice pad with me and sticks, and I would just be doing rudiments on the practice pad for
When you're
hours
driving?
on end. Yep.
Jeez.
I used to even have a pair of marching band sticks in my truck, so whenever I got to a light, I'd take out the marching band sticks and be practicing on the steering wheel.
No, you would not.
Yeah, I was. People gave me some interesting looks.
Like, you do realize you're driving a car, right? Like, you don't usually do that.
I mean, I stopped.
It's too.
You s-
Speaking of stopped, I stopped my band playing instrument in junior high. I used to play saxophone.
Hey.
Ooh.
Bro.
Not too bad.
I bet you'd be a killer saxophone player.
Are you
Right.
just saying that because I'm black? I mean, well, I guess,
Actually,
I
yeah.
guess it was a great thing to do. You know?
Don't sugarcoat it now.
But yeah, I guess I just stopped because I don't know. Like, I didn't really take band in high school, really middle school, but found engineering to be more of my passion.
Jeez. Saxophone. You know,
Yeah, man.
over here we don't have schools that actually do that. Just like hand out instruments and.
Oh no, then the instrument was a
You
handout
don't have
from my mother.
schools over there?
That's what I thought it was gonna end.
Whoa.
with that. I was like,
The way he said it, like he had a little pause, and I was like, "Wait, he doesn't have schools over there? That's pretty weird."
Times are rough in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
But I watch people actually playing instruments and getting the latest. And I was like, wait, hold up. I gotta get into that myself.
Getting
And
the ladies, did you say? Oh my god.
and I bought a guitar. It was an acoustic one, or a really good Palmer one. It's a Palmer. It wasn't that good, but for me it was glorious.
Dude, that's what's up.
I used to
And
play the
Sweet,
flute.
bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had to pay like $200 or so weekly for tutoring it, but it wasn't worth it. Cause whenever I went there, the guy would just like show off playing the guitar, but that's it.
Oh.
Instead of like teaching me, I'm like, hey man, come on, I want to learn to do
Seriously?
that. I don't want to
That's
see you.
ridiculous.
Wow.
$200 a month.
Wait,
or a week.
negativity. How
A
much
week.
a month?
Uh,
Oh, a week?
Yes, a week.
$100 a week.
200.
200, but it was like
How many lessons was that?
I think it was like 3 to 4 hours every day.
Oh, every day. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
That's
a
some
lot.
commitment though.
Jeez.
Yeah, holy cow.
I've
I would
never
have
even
given
heard
up
of
after
that.
like the second session.
Yeah, I used to give drum lessons, and I would normally schedule it once a week for an hour because that gave them time to practice stuff. I don't understand how you could, how he could do a couple hours a day. Like that's ridiculous.
Yep. But it wasn't like every week. I used to go like every one. Okay, so if I went this week, then I would just skip like 3 weeks and go back like the first week of every month. And
all right.
yeah, because it's expensive.
Oh yeah.
And you need to soak in the information and practice it. I mean,
Yeah, but
he can-
information was
he can
just
show you a
him
bunch of
showing
stuff,
off.
but it's not gonna. Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, so I had to learn by myself, and I actually got pretty good at it. I did. My dad bought me an electric guitar, and he handed me his amplifier, and whew, I jam a lot with my best friend over here. He also plays an electric guitar. He does the solos. I just do the chorus thing on the back.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
you.
after that, we're like, hey man, well, what else can I play? Like, just feels the same. I'm like, hey man, bass is pretty much the same thing. And I'm like, well, let's give it a try. So I did, and I got good at it too.
Nice, bro. We're gonna have to jam sometime.
Yeah.
Get our
We
own
could
band.
make a recording. I play a couple instruments, so between the two of us, that would be pretty cool.
Right.
Did you used to play anything, Gareth?
I used to play the flute back in high school, but it wasn't for very long. It was like 2 years or so. I was homeschooled through my whole.
Which one? Like which flute? Because there's
I
a
honestly
small
don't know.
one.
I just played whatever. I don't know what different kinds there are. I wasn't super into it. It was just kind of each member of my family played an instrument, and so I was like, well, I'll play the flute because that's what my dad used to play. And
But
so we
what-
had one lying around.
Was it like small, or was it like a long pipe?
Oh no,
It
it
was
was a
sideways.
long one. It
Oh,
was-
okay.
Yeah, it was a long sideways one. Yeah,
Oh,
not like a penny whistle. I used to play the penny.
so then
whistle.
you were a flautist.
Is that what they're called?
Yes, that is what they're called. Flautist.
That sounds a lot less cool than.
I always loved that. Whenever someone told me that they played wind instruments, I'm like, so you're a flautist?
Is that all wind instruments, or is that just?
No, that's
No.
just for flute.
No. Yeah, because saxophone is also a wind instrument.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Everything you power with air
Alto
is-
tenor. Yeah.
is technically a wind instrument.
What's the instrument called from the spooky memes that they do with like.
Oh, I think that is. Is that not saxophone?
I thought that was
Isn't that alto sax?
Yeah, I thought that's what I was about to say. I think
Alto
that's an alto
saxophone.
sax. Yeah,
Oh,
playing
I
on the
thought they-
highest notes on it.
I
Right,
thought they
right.
had another name. Never mind.
The more you know.
Yeah, I legit didn't know they were called sax too. Like, shit, let me search that up. Like, whoa. No, like, yeah, this is. What? So I did search up, like, sax, but it's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. Blow in instruments.
What?
It's a wind instrument. in a
Wind
nutshell.
instrument.
Wait, what was I saying? Yeah,
Isn't
wind
that
instrument.
woodwind?
Yeah, wind instrument.
Woodwinds.
Alright,
Yeah.
so we got
Yeah,
the
what-
it's a trombone. That's the one I'm looking for. The trombone.
Oh,
Yes. So we got the trombone, we got the trumpet, we got what the hell is this? A flute thorn?
What?
Imagine, you know
In the
the
world?
big ass trumpet? It's huge. Like-
Tuba?
Nah.
Because there's trumpet and then there's
Like
tuba,
trombone? Is that what you're talking about?
trombone.
No,
yeah.
a trombone is like the long one. Apparently,
Oh,
the
you
flute
mean
horn is like the one you gotta carry over your shoulder 'cause
A
it's heavy.
French horn?
No, it's
A
let me-
French horn's smaller. Yeah.
What did you say it's called? A flute?
yeah, it's a flute horn. Apparently, literally.
Heck, I just.
I gotta say though, like between the four of us, we could start a jazz band. where
Heck
We
yeah.
we got a saxophone, we got a bassist, a guitarist, we got
I'd
a
prefer
flautist,
But-
a cantina
and I can play
band,
drums,
like Star
piano,
Wars,
and whatever else we need to add in there.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, man. Like, we can
Yeah.
actually do our own thing.
Get it down. We're gonna have for this channel. We're gonna have a music video every
Oh,
single
man.
month, guaranteed
dear.
on this channel. I don't know.
An
if we'll be able to
original
make
song.
it,
No,
but,
guaranteed by positivity, not me.
What joke? And then in the description of our videos, you're gonna see like the original song we copied from. Oh man, that's how it is with my KFC videos.
Oof.
Plug in.
So you,
Like you'll see like my KFC or like my Arby's remix song on my YouTube channel. Yes, I have a YouTube
Free
channel.
chicken tenders and a big old
Yes.
cookie.
Big old cookie. Search up KFC song if you guys want to know what we're talking about.
Oh, I've seen it. Mario is
Mario,
famous.
not Luigi. I am not famous.
How many
for
views does that have, Mario?
silly meme.
Oh, I was-
350,000, I think.
Yeah, that's famous.
yeah, it's a lot. It's called how? KFC what?
KFC song. Just search up KFC song and you'll see it like at the beginning of the list.
Alright.
Was at the top and then someone named Jake Paul replaced the top.
No, it's
Sounds like
it's
sounds
not
like you really
here.
care about this thing.
Oh my god, yo! I searched KFC song, and the fourth video is the Black People song.
Oh yeah.
What?
That one's like a YouTube like treasure.
YouTube treasure.
It's super,
Heck
super
yeah.
recent.
I've never seen it. I gotta
You guys
watch
gotta
it
watch
after
it,
this.
yeah. I don't know if we can like play it
No.
on the
I don't
podcast,
think
but yeah.
so. I don't think so.
Anyway, yeah. I was gonna ask something. Oh yeah. This is a weird time. So like the time of this podcast, I think I mentioned this last week, but now I can say it with full confidence. Red Dead 2 is out, as well as Black Ops 4, and that has like shifted gaming just ever so slightly, especially with the Call of Duties. I've seen a lot on Reddit where people are complaining how Black Ops 2 and MW2 literally have no one on their servers now because of Black Ops 4, which might be a good thing or a bad thing. And with Red Dead 2, it seems like a lot of people are loving the game, but I'm just afraid of like pay to win and all that stuff. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this like change in atmosphere? I mean, these games came out in the matter of like the same week or
Ah.
something like that.
Dude, wait. Hold on. You said that Red Dead Redemption 2 is out?
I don't think it's out yet.
Is it not out?
I think it
26.
comes out,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
on Friday.
Is that fake news? Oh man,
Yeah, I think it's
fake
fake
news.
news Friday.
You heard it here first.
Yep, 2
Season
more
12.
days.
Yeah.
Too
but-
early.
I mean,
Well,
me, I
still,
I
yeah,
think
both.
that Call of Duty wise, you're saying, then
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just gonna naturally happen with every game that's similar to that. That's FPS, where they come out with basically. I mean, Call of Duty 4 is basically the new version of Call of Duty.
It's like
gonna
leapfrog. They're just
everyone
leapfrog.
from the other. Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to move to the newest version, so the old ones are going to slowly die off. But
I will say though that Black Ops 4 is definitely one of my favorite Call of Duty games in several Call of Duties, probably since Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 3. I think
Really?
it's very well done. Yeah. in my
I've heard a
personal
lot of
opinion.
people say that.
Like, what intrigues you from it?
I don't know. It doesn't really feel. It feels like Black Ops 2, which hasn't really been the case in the Call of Duty games since Black Ops 2, because there's been all like the exosuits and all that stuff, which, to be honest, it doesn't really appeal to me. All the futuristic stuff isn't really that appealing to me personally, but I don't know. I'm just really enjoying the kind of not as chaotic. I mean, it's still chaotic. Don't get me wrong, because it's Call of Duty and everything's close quarters and all that stuff. But it's not. There's no one flying off of walls 100.
Right.
Yeah.
It just feels more calm, which I like.
More
It's
calm.
hard for me to believe that this is like the 15th Call of Duty. Can you believe it? Call of Duty 15. That is just insane. That's something you hear out of like a movie, like Back to the Future, Jaws 37 or whatever.
Or, Sharknado.
Oh,
Sharknado,
Sharknado. Jeez.
If you haven't watched Sharknado, you gotta go watch that now.
Isn't it like
You got
5 of them?
Netflix. It's on Netflix. For
I'm not
free,
sure
yeah.
how many there are now.
Let me see.
There's-
Sharknado
there's
sequels.
I think Netflix says Sharknado 5 and 1. I don't know where that is though out of all of them. That is a must-watch.
What?
As far as Red Dead 2, I think it's like a super anticipated game, which is the reason everybody's so excited for it.
Super hyped. What do you guys think is gonna happen to the GTA 5? I mean, community. You think it's gonna even be affected at all? I mean, you think it's barely even gonna budge?
I think.
Because GTA 5 has been going on for 5 years. My gosh.
I mean, I think GTA 5 it's got some flaws in it with retaining people, just because it is, mostly kind of single player kind of game with multiplayer aspects, but it's not really made to retain players for over 3 or 4 years. So as new games come in that are competing with it, like Red Dead, I think it's just gonna fizzle out.
You think they're competing with themselves with this new Red Dead game?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's the same people that they're fighting over. It's the same single player to, somewhat multiplayer kind of community.
I think Classic said it nicely. Classic said that it's basically Grand Theft Auto 5, but in a different time period. You got the same open world, same mass, multiplayer, whatever. Same, go out on missions and quests and go explore. But then, over time, you're gonna get tired of the map, and it's, you're gonna know where everything is. You're gonna do all the interactions, but it'll stale out.
I mean, that's kind of how it is with all single player games.
Oh yeah.
Even if they make them really replayable, like Skyrim, for instance.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't play Skyrim anymore, and that's considered one of the best games ever made. It's just they've already played it, and that's why everyone wants, Elder Scrolls 6, because they've already been playing it for too long. They have 1,000 hours in Skyrim. They don't want any more.
Exactly.
But the thing is, they keep making mods for it. They're making more mods for campaign stories and
mods are really I think one of the biggest things that keep single player games alive. Like that's a great thing. Yeah. Every single player game, especially that's like open world, they should have a big modding community. They should really support that.
Yeah.
And that's why the community for GTA 5 was in an uproar when Rockstar tried to halt mods on single player. People just lost it.
I know. Like
I think I uploaded. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I used to be one of those people. Like I used to mod on single player because I love the detailed mods and the what would it call those overhaul graphics ones?
Yep.
Yeah, they were amazing. My PC was dying, still dying. But
at least it looked pretty.
Exactly. And once they threw that, if I had mod, I couldn't play multiplayer. It just I had to delete the whole game, downloaded it all over again just so I could play multiplayer. I don't like it.
Yeah, because multiplayer also was so controlled. You didn't really, because with multiplayer, it was really pay to get the stuff that you wanted.
Yes.
And they slapped people on the wrist when they found exploits or cheats or modded the game.
Yep.
And I'll say it on here. I modded GTA 5, but I modded it in a way that helped other people. Because I know that those missions, some of those missions are ridiculous. They have you traveling across the entire map for 10 grand, and it takes 20 or 30 minutes to get a mission done, and you get 10 grand.
Yeah.
But if you put that into perspective, I mean, one of the newest, DLC vehicles costs $1 million, $2 million. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Some people have a job and a life, outside of GTA.
Well,
can't keep doing it.
Yeah, they did introduce heist, which kind of helped with the money, but it was still cheap. Like you gotta do like what 4 to 5 missions to do the last one, and on the last one you gotta split the money because other
And
people
whoever
are
was
not
the
count-
host didn't get that mission money that you did on the setups.
right?
It's a crazy thing. It's like, jeez.
Man,
Along with modding, I was actually wondering what you guys thought of this, or if you've even heard of it. Have you heard of the multiplayer Skyrim?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, so.
Yeah, that's coming soon. I've heard like they're coming with the actual release version soon. Apparently,
wait,
that's gonna be interesting because they're saying it can hold. It's made to hold about, I think they were saying 8 to 10 people, but if the server is strong enough, it can hold as many as you want, up to like 50, 60 people.
Holy cow.
And it loads the whole map. Like it's not
Dude.
it's not like Ark Survival where they can only be in a little sphere view. They can be anywhere on the map, and it doesn't really add too much load onto the server. So
Huh. Is it like a personally hosted thing, kind of like Minecraft is, or is it like?
so think about like the community servers from Rust and Ark.
Mhm.
That's the way I think of it. But it's actually, it can also be run as a they were showing it can be run as a multiplayer hosting. So
Like a machi sort of thing.
yeah, so like they, you start hosting a game as a single player, and then your friends join in, and you run around with them, and they can be anywhere on the map, and you're just hosting it with your computer on your client, and then you can, obviously turn it off whenever you stop playing.
Dude, I heard that Fallout 76 was trying to do something like that, but they only were able to do it with like 4 people. Like it was beta,
Really? Wow.
really minimized. Yeah, but like they're trying to bring multiplayer to Fallout 76.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. Someone said that, like those slow-mo interactions where you get to choose where to shoot the person. They say those get totally messed up in multiplayer because you can't go into slow-mo.
Imagine.
Everybody's in the same time, so you have to, it's really weird, but yeah.
isn't the Fallout 76 beta reopening this Saturday, October 27th?
I'll have to see.
Like,
I get it.
yeah, I think they said something about that, but I don't know if it's like exclusive for Xbox players. I hope not.
Xbox and their exclusives. Wasn't there another multiplayer? Wasn't it like Halo Infinity or something? I saw a teaser for that the other day.
A new Halo.
I haven't
Not
heard-
Halo.
Yeah, Halo Infinity. I'll have to look it up again.
Halo Infinite.
Also, I did want to ask, isn't Fallout 76
oh,
pretty much
Infinite.
mostly a multiplayer game?
Fallout what?
Isn't Fallout 76 mostly a multiplayer game?
I think
From-
so.
From
Yes.
what I understood,
That's what I heard. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
similar to Rust, basically.
yeah, I
Just
heard it
in
was
a
going to be
rough-
kind of like, yeah, I guess Rust is a good way of putting it. Or did you guys ever play Division, Tom Clancy game?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, something kind of like that. I mean, not where there's like a specific zone where you can. I heard it's PvP everywhere, which is kind of like a Daisy sort of deal, or Rust rather. But
Yeah.
just more.
So basically like DayZ, but actually releasing the game. on
Actually
Steam.
finished. So irritating.
DayZ. When did DayZ get announced or put on?
I think the
Oh
first time they said it was going to be released was like 2015, like late
My
2015,
Gosh.
and then they're like, oh no,
How it is
sorry,
now. Holy
second quarter
cow.
2016, they're pushing it back, and then they just kind of stopped announcing it.
Oh,
I really don't know how I feel about Fallout 76 though, because like, I feel like it's actually going to end up being a really big disappointment to Fallout fans, because Fallout fans are single player gamers. It's the same
Yes.
thing as when they released Elder Scrolls Online. The Elder Scrolls fans didn't like it, but the MMO ones did.
yep.
And
Oh, why not?
as for the Fallout people, like, I don't know. They're gonna play it, but they're probably gonna leave pretty fast. And I'm just curious if they're going to be able to retain the survival game players, because those guys are already used to playing, Ark Survival and Rust and all that. Are they gonna want to stay with 76, or just go back to what they're used to?
That's a good question.
I tell you, man, it's better that that company focuses on making a good single player game than
Yeah.
trying to like fit in with everybody else with this multiplayer. Like multiplayer is good if it's done right, but like just changing your game to multiplayer, like Black Ops 4, it's kind of dangerous with Black Ops 4. Like for instance, their game was like no one ever thought like a couple years ago that Black Ops or Call of Duty would be in a battle royale kind of situation, but
Yeah.
they got lucky. That battle royale is pretty interesting, I will say.
They did a
It's
good
pretty
job
interesting.
with that. They did a
They did a
really
good
good
job.
job with that. And,
Not only that, but they were
Fallout, I
tied
feel like
into
they
the
could
story,
do
too.
a great job. Yeah, I feel like they could do a great job with multiplayer in Fallout. I mean, I personally think they're going about it a really wrong way, making it a survival game, because it just like I saw a lot of gameplay of it, and a friend of mine was testing it out and stuff, and it just does not look good. Like it looks, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's a good survival game, and it doesn't look like it's a good Fallout game because they're forcing it to be, multiplayer in that perspective of
It's
like,
really hard to
'cause-
mesh test both worlds together.
yeah. And I mean, survival is kind of a weird, it's kind of a weird multiplayer to turn a single player game into, because like it's not even just like co-op or even PvP. It's actually having, your body is on the ground when you're logged out and you can get looted. You build a base that can get destroyed, stuff like that. So it's going to be a very weird thing for those players to get used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to Blackout, I just gotta add, if you ever play with positivity, do not let him drive an ATV.
Oh my
I heard about that.
let me run it down for you guys. Okay, for some context. We were at a building near the outside of the barrier, and we were just scavenging for stuff, and someone told me that my mic was broken, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fix my mic. So I set my controller, or I set everything down, and next thing I know, I hear a bunch of screaming and wailing, and I hear the bike going off, and I'm like, what the heck? And I look up, and it turns out I just ran over one of my teammates. So then I try to go back and help him out, but it turns out I run over him and like officially kill him. So I
Yeah,
mean,
you ran him down. You didn't get him the first time,
it
so
was
you had
not
to
a
put it in
run
reverse and
down.
run him down.
Let me
Alright.
let me tell you my side of the version.
Oh boy.
Yes, thank you.
We kill a guy that was in the building we were looting, and he was actually outside. We were in the building. He was actually outside. We killed him. I needed ammunition. I needed stuff to heal up. And when I went to him, I got in prone position, and I actually blended it with the floor. And positivity gets in on his ATV. Like, all right, he's pretty far. I'm still, prone over here, looting. I'm pretty sure he knows I'm here. And boop, he backs out. Alright, he downs me. He doesn't kill me yet. He downs me. And you know what he says? Wow, I'm really glad that they implemented horns into the ATVs. And then
Dude, the horns are awesome.
and then just like keeps backing up. It kills me.
It would have been one thing if you just downed him, but the fact that he went the opposite direction and killed him is
That just makes it great. It makes me want to buy the game. Just that, just knowing that
They
that
added
happened.
horns into that game. You got to buy it. It is a must buy. Don't listen to negativity.
by different horns.
We got punned. We got effed up in that match.
I have yet to win that game. Yeah, it is tough, but it is
I mean,
enjoyable even when
You know exactly what to do now. Negativity. Whenever, right when you find loot, you find like an ATV. Just shoot positivity in the back and keep going.
get that double tap and move on. There you go.
Like, hey, negativity, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I am not letting you drive that ATV.
I'm kidding.
Dude,
Oh, man. It's fun.
I'm curious to see what they'll do with that game because I heard that they're gonna change the map over time. They're not gonna keep it the same thing forever.
Oh,
They're gonna change
Oh,
it,
that's nice.
right? I
That's
figure it's
so,
one
like,
map.
similar
They
to-
can't just throw in a DLC. I mean, that would just.
I mean, that's that's similar to what they do with
Fortnite.
What's the game? Yeah, Fortnite. They've always been changing the map.
change.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think really retains people in that game in general. It's just
Yeah, they keep adding
Map
stuff and skins
yeah, they
and
add new stuff.
weapons
It's
and
kind of
whatnot.
it's funny to see how similar these games are trying to be to each other. I don't know if it's intentional or not. I imagine it partially is, but like Fortnite has their season
Oh yeah,
sort of thing. You buy
the
this,
battle
I don't know,
pass.
yeah, the battle pass, and then you rank up, and as you rank up, you unlock certain things. And actually, Black Ops 4, that's going to be the black market. That's how it's going to be. It's not going to be, oh, you can buy this specific weapon skin. You can buy our battle pass and then play throughout the season and level up. And when you reach certain levels, you'll unlock these certain skins for certain weapons.
What the
And I know
hell?
that's what PUBG is doing now too.
Yeah.
I noticed it too. I also noticed with Call of Duty, Black Ops is the first Black Ops where it's like, it's 5v5 when you want to do regular team deathmatch. I've noticed that too. Like they're trying to appeal to
Yeah.
like Rainbow Six. I don't know. Like it's just interesting, you know.
Yeah, it isn't.
I don't
think
like
that's
it
kind of
because I
a-
love more players, but you know. That's just
I
me.
think that's kind of an interesting idea, though. What Gareth was saying about the battle pass with Call of Duty. I think that's actually a pretty interesting idea because then, you know, you don't have the immediate gratification of a normal cash shop. You still have to kind of work for it. Like you level it up and get stuff. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but the thing is that the free way to level it up, you barely get anything. Like,
No, that's true. Yeah.
so you.
But I mean,
I
it's
mean,
still
they have to
gotta-
make money somewhere, though.
And it's kind of fun, like, 'cause it adds another race to this certain skin
Yeah.
element. To where like when the game first was released, everybody was racing to get gold guns and stuff, and
Yeah.
now when they have this, you know, they'll be racing to unlock the highest tier camo one.
And at least it's not pay to win kind of thing.
I was
Like
gonna
if
say,
they keep
yeah.
it cosmetic, then I think that's a great thing for them because I mean they have to make money some way. They can't just have the game out there for free. And I mean, what are they gonna do? Put a Walmart ad on the loading screen?
That would be the most frustrating. Oh my god.
Every loading screen, there's an ad for like a store or Amazon or something.
But the thing is, see, at least Fortnite is free to play, and then you can buy the battle pass. But what about PUBG? You gotta buy the game and then buy the
Yeah.
battle pass thing. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
And then isn't like the PUBG mobile version free?
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
There's some inconsistency here. Like, is it free or is
That
it not?
is-
Like, what
yeah,
you gotta
that's
make the
funny.
whole game free or the whole game, you know? Like, because
The
I
thing
heard
about-
PUBG Mobile is literally, which I don't know how they do PUBG Mobile. That's still crazy to me. I heard that is literally just like normal PUBG.
It is.
just
It's
on your
it's
phone.
very good. It's extremely impressive, to be honest.
My
with you.
God.
Yeah, that is interesting.
They're
I mean,
cheating
the thing
for
is
it.
though, is even if they have it buy to play, like PUBG or Call of Duty, and they're doing that kind of thing, they still have to do something like a cash shop, just because if they are planning to continue content for it, they have to still make money, right? Because like if PUBG is going to continue supporting the game and making new content, new maps, whatever, they're gonna have to make money some way. Because in the first, I think it's the first 6 months they usually say, is when they get most players in these kinds of games, and then from there it kind of steadies out, and they don't make enough money from just selling the box.
Didn't they make like billions of dollars? Like, dude, they must have hit the jackpot.
Oh, they made a
summer of
lot.
17 and summer of 18. They must have.
Dude,
hit
they
the
made a
jackpot.
lot in the first 6, and in the second 6 they made a lot. But after that, like after a year, then it just dropped off really fast. You know, they have competitors now, like well, I mean, Call of Duty.
But why? I still like. Why don't they take Siege initiative? Like, all right, they do plan to like every year make new operators, like at least
Mhm.
8 of them, and
Right.
technically they're free. You gotta work, of course, to get renodes and then buy the operators. But the way they make money is like, hey, you want the operators for free? Well, I mean, you still gotta pay real money. Like let's say $30 for the whole year, and that's it, just from one single person. And they do the content, and they also sell cosmetics, but you don't actually have to buy a battle pass to get the cosmetics. You know, they're not exclusive to like, hey, pay this and boop, you'll get this. But
Dude, I love my $15 Rainbow Six Edition, and I'm still got that.
like, same. That's actually how I got it. I got
You know
hooked
what I mean?
up, and I love that.
You're gonna get more people to buy that game, even though it's at a smaller amount. People are still buying it.
Yes. That.
I love my Overwatch $12 edition.
Hey, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of games that make a lot more from microtransactions than they do from the actual sales of the game itself.
yeah.
Definitely. That's 100%.
CS:GO being probably the top.
God,
Yeah.
yes.
On the top.
Especially, when they're a game that they plan to stay around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like they have to have something past just buying the game, because especially like look at MMOs. They're a good example of it. You buy Elder Scrolls Online or even World of Warcraft. They have a set price you have to pay for World of Warcraft for the game, and then you pay a subscription. And that's I always thought that was kind of stupid.
Oh yeah.
That they have that, but that just goes to show you that they can't make the money just from selling the box. They have to have something else behind it.
Oh no,
ESO
but I.
was like that at one point, wasn't it?
What?
Sholar?
Yeah.
Wasn't ESO like that at one point? You had to buy the game and then pay for a subscription in order for.
Yeah.
Towards the
ESO
beginning,
was. Yep. ESO, you had to buy an edition. It was pretty cheap, I believe. They had the standard edition pretty cheap because it was a subscription-based game. And it was actually really good price for what you got. It was a really great game. And then actually when they made it buy to play, the quality of the game went down substantially.
It's kind of sad, to be honest.
Yeah. When it was subscription-based, they had a patch every week. And in the patch was balancing. Like they did class balancing every week, and they did just general fixes every week. Now they do class balancing every I think it's 6 months, and they do general bugs and stuff every month or two. So it's they really kind of dropped the ball on that. It's sad. That's why I always enjoyed subscription games more than buy to play or free to play, just because they seem to be able to do things a lot faster.
Yeah, you do have a point on that one.
As soon as I hear the word premium, it's just oh man, this is gonna be a hassle. For especially younger kids who just want to play the freaking game. Come on. They're not gonna have a job, for the I tell you, when I was about to get my YouTube premium or whatever it's called, as soon as I got that last month, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I was younger, I probably wouldn't have got this because I wouldn't have had a steady flow of income. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of these subscriptions are Netflix. You know what I mean? Any of these things where it's monthly. It's you better have a job or a decent amount of money to just, make sure you don't run into trouble. But it's crazy.
I mean, the thing is though, is it's for a lot of these companies, MMOs and stuff. Again, it's very difficult for them when they're trying to figure out how they're going to fund the game over time, because there's really only two ways to do it: microtransactions and then subscription. And microtransactions is really difficult for the developers because on two levels. One, they have to keep it from being pay to win. Two, they have to be constantly working on new things to sell people. That is usually cosmetic items or content that is more linear, PvE based kind of things. So if they want to do something that's a big patch or something that's PvP based, they really can't do that because they're not going to make any money off of it if they're buy to play or free to play. Whereas subscription based, they know how much money they're going to make every month, how much they can pay their devs, and they can just make plans for all kinds of interesting content.
Yeah. Well, I guess World of Warcraft kind of falls into that category, but
Yeah.
they make a lot of money because you have to buy the expansion packs, all of them.
Yeah. No, that's actually how all MMOs are right now. For that subscription, they also have expansions for the large content. Yeah. It's annoying, but I mean, sometimes I kind of understand it depending on the expansion. Some of them are just ridiculously large. Like they must have been working on that for the entire year while they had another team working on the other DLCs and stuff. Because some of this stuff, like ESO launched an expansion that was the size of the game at the time, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see where you guys are coming from. I'll pay you, extra $30. I get it.
But the thing is, for World of Warcraft is that besides you gotta pay the expansion and subscription, there's a lot of stuff in game that you really want, and you gotta pay for it too.
Yeah. And then there's so many expansions for World of Warcraft, and they're all usually they're all separate, which is painful. Like even ESO, they don't have a whole lot of expansions. They have a couple, but their expansions, then you can, I believe they bundle them actually after like a couple months of it being released, and they bundle it with the others, and it's a reasonable price. But and then they also have little DLCs, but if you pay a subscription to them, then you have those for free. But yeah, World of Warcraft's just, it's too expensive for how much you have to get, how much content there is. And also another thing that's annoying about them, they have so much wasted content. Like,
yes,
I've heard so many people who played WoW a lot, who try and get me to come and play it with them. They'll tell me, well, WoW's the best MMO because it has the most content. I'm like, yeah, but 90% of it's wasted. Like, I'm never gonna go do that raid at level 40. No one does that raid. Why would anyone even log into that zone? I'm just going to log in and create a new level 80 or 90, whatever it is now, and go play. I'm not gonna. Yeah, why would I waste my time leveling for 4 months?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people are skipping, at least in World of Warcraft, they're skipping the story. And World of Warcraft, you can do dungeons, and dungeons do give you a lot more experience and gold than doing the missions. So people don't actually care about the missions. You just go for dungeons, level up, and that's it.
Yeah. And I mean, personally, when they released the patch, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. I haven't followed the game too much. I only played it for a very short period. Yeah,
the last one.
Actually, I think it was before Azeroth. I think it was Legion or something.
Yeah.
When they first started making it so that you could get almost level capped character with buying the cop.
Oh, they've been doing that for a while now.
Yeah, they did it a couple years ago.
Like, yeah, you get like 10. You can boost a character 10 levels below the cap.
Yeah. I always thought that was actually, when it came out, I thought that was a really good idea, because one of the biggest, I always thought one of the biggest problems with World of Warcraft is they had such a gap in the gear and the levels and everything. From when you start out. It's like, who wants to start out at level 1 on World of Warcraft knowing very little about the game, and then you look at the end game content and it's like, these people have been playing it for 10 years.
Yeah,
it's like
no, go ahead, man.
you got like a lifetime before you even par up with these people that are already
yeah, exactly.
Experience. It's like,
and I mean, how long is it going to take you to get to the end game, the actual part of the MMO that's interesting, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Very few people want to just go and quest and do missions in World of Warcraft. Those people are usually playing single player games, so it's like, when they look at the PvP, well, I can't go in PvP until I'm maxed. So what is that, like 4-6 months now?
Damn, I took, I think, like a week, a complete week for one expansion, which was the latest one, which I $60 for just a week worth of content.
Wait, how many hours a day would that be?
Oh, it wasn't actually a lot. It was like 4 to 5 hours a day.
Wow, that's not much at all. Wow, that's really not that much content they put in. Is that Azeroth?
Yep.
Wow, I thought they put a lot more into that. Like ESOs, when they came out with, I think it was, I want to say Somerset, then they had a lot more, like content-wise and story and stuff. They probably had at least a couple weeks to a month of content playing it, somewhat decently.
Yeah.
Did Azeroth come out with any new like endgame raids or anything?
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Like yeah, they always
Oh.
do that now. Like raids, dungeons.
Yeah,
Cause that's
things
what people
keep busy.
want to do. Like just go straight to raids, get everything like maxed, even the gear, and go to PvP, and that's it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of game companies are starting to figure out that people want just the end game and they don't care about the middle part as much. I mean, ESO, they have all that content. I bought it, I pre-ordered it, and I didn't log into the zone ever.
Damn.
I still have not logged into the zone. I just bought it because I wanted some extra little things that I could get for PvP. And most of the people on my friends list that I know, like probably at least 20 people I know, have never even logged into that zone just because why would you? It's a bunch of quests and storylines.
Y'all want to wonder why I don't even touch WoW. I built my PC, and as soon as I built it, I'm like, I'm playing City Skylines. And then I saw Overwatch, like that meme of that dude looking back at the chick, like, ooh, Overwatch, watch out. And then here I am, Overwatch, and so, yeah. But it seems like,
later.
oh yeah. But then you got LOL, and you guys think Overwatch is going to end up like LOL, just lasting forever? You think there's going to be like an Overwatch 2, or something?
That is a very good question.
I think Blizzard is doing a really good job with. I mean, I know everybody has their complaints and their gripes about, the game's not balanced, so.
Well, you need more lore.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do think it is one of those games, especially with their advertising on the Overwatch League and all the esports stuff that they're getting into. I think it's going to kind of turn out something like CS:GO, where they still have world championships for it, and it's still extremely popular. But
I
think
agree
it's
with
gonna
you
last a
100%.
while.
I think Overwatch is gonna outlast most other MOBAs. In fact, I would say it's gonna outlast the vast majority of MOBAs right now, just because it is, it's different. When you look at a lot of the MOBAs right now, they're all so similar, and a lot of people are getting really sick of it. A lot of people are sick of League of Legends and Smite, and well, I mean Smite not as much. Smite kind of lost a lot of people, but they're pretty good now. But all of these ones that are like top-down camera views and stuff, it's like it's all the same game.
Thank you.
Really.
Somebody said it. Top down.
It's really all the same game, like all the League of Legends clones, basically. And then you have Overwatch, which is the only real MOBA that's an FPS and can marriage FPS with skill-based combat. So
But don't forget, people used to complain that Paladins, or some think today, that Paladins is copying Overwatch straight up.
I mean, it is. It's definitely
It kind of
copying.
is,
You
yeah.
see the May
It came
and the
out
McCree
right
and the
after.
Roadhog in there.
Yes.
It came out right after. I mean, I don't see Paladins as a big thing, to be honest. Like, they're kind of like they're just like a cheap imitation kind of thing. They're for people who don't want to buy Overwatch, but they
yep.
want to play it. So like, I don't think they're ever gonna get big. If anything, they might actually die off when people just start buying Overwatch, or Overwatch gets cheaper.
I think it's gonna happen. What happened with PUBG and Fortnite? That Fortnite started off as a cheap imitation of PUBG and free, and when
Oh
Fortnite,
my gosh!
hey,
No.
Fortnite took
not even-
over and destroyed.
Yeah. No,
So,
I
no,
don't know
wait.
about that.
so wait, so at first when it wasn't actually that popular, PUBG really didn't give an F about it. They're like, hey, nice, like people actually like what we're doing, and they want to do it too. All right. But then Fortnite got popular, and a lot of people started moving from PUBG to Fortnite. And you know what PUBG did? So he eat suit Fortnite. Like there's actually a case on Korea
Wow.
of PUBG
That's
suing,
funny.
Fortnite.
Oh my
Epic
I don't,
Games.
I don't think that would ever happen between Paladins and Overwatch.
See,
I don't
that's the
think
thing.
They're not that big
any
of a competitor.
nation can
Papa
push
Jeff's
them
just
because
like
of Blizzard.
peasants.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Blizzard is it's a different scenario because PUBG, that isn't that the only game they really have. Like
Wait,
What
they're
about
not
H1Z1?
they're not nearly as powerful as Blizzard. Blizzard
think-
just will destroy anything that gets close.
I think H1Z1 was just like
They
a
already
holding
have.
place while everyone was waiting for PUBG.
Yeah.
You've heard
I hate
of the lawsuits, right? That Blizzard has done already.
What?
They've already shut down like I think 4 or 5 different games that were trying to imitate Overwatch. There was 2 in China, I know of.
Oh yeah, there was like a
And
mobile Overwatch
there was
game
one
in China.
Yeah, there was one in Korea, and there was also a U.S. one that was all trying to imitate them, and they just straight up sued them and they shut them down. Like they're gone. Those companies are gone. Yeah, Blizzard wouldn't have that.
Yeah, those are straight up copies. Like you could see the Overwatch characters just literally depixelized.
Yeah, I mean they even had the same maps. Like one of them
Yeah.
had Ilios Well, and it was like the same buildings, the well in the middle, and everything. And they're just, I can just imagine Jeff looking at it like, oh, this looks familiar.
Isn't this my map?
How innovative.
Isn't this the thing I spent, 4 weeks of painstaking overtime working on? I think it is.
Speaking of Overwatch, this might be an extremely full question, and I don't really expect to get a legitimate answer at this point. But like, what do you guys think of the current state of Overwatch? Do you think it's balanced? Do you think that there's some characters that maybe need to be nerfed, others that need to be buffed?
Doom.
Just in general.
Nerf.
Nerf Doom?
Yes.
How so? Raises cooldowns or what?
Well, cooldowns is really all he depends on. The armor is the problem, and the stunts
Oh.
with it, because he gets fast cooldowns on his abilities, and every time he lands an ability, he gets the armor and stuns the enemy. So, it's just like he can get armor really quick with the abilities because they get fast cooldowns, and you can
It's
barely
kind of-
kill the guy.
Yeah, I agree with negativity. I think they should not just do a full nerf to Doom. I think they could make an interesting change where, so you guys know how Hammond's shield works, where it gets bigger depending on how many people are around you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that what they should do with Doom's abilities is all of them should basically be like a miniature version of that, where like the max amount gives him a somewhat decent shield, and that would give him more incentive to not even just be a flanker. You would also want to try and brawl and get in the middle of things, but be careful, because if he gets too far in and gets stunned, then as we know, Doom will get melted instantly if he gets too close to the tank. So I think it would add some interesting things, and then he wouldn't be as strong in just going behind and jumping on an Ana,
Right.
It's kind of funny.
I mean-
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, to answer your question, for me personally, I think pretty much I love the state of the game right now. I'm a Zarya, Brig, and Hammond main, and I also used to main Reinhardt, so it's like I love it. But the only hero I think that's really kind of messed up is Sombra, just because she shuts down like she'll just shut down characters completely to the point where they're useless.
Oh my
And
gosh,
I just
if you
don't
hack
like that.
a Doomfist, like
Oh,
Doomfist is gone.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
And she takes Hammond out of his ball.
Oh,
Like,
that's right.
That
Can't get
definitely should
away.
happen.
Yup.
Like he has no skills and he's out of his ball. It's like completely useless character. I mean, it's like that for a lot of the characters though. Only a couple of them can really be okay after being hacked. So I just don't like
Right.
that. But other than that, I think everything's good.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people, like every other friend of mine has said nerf break, nerf break, nerf break.
That's funny.
Like, are they? I think they're just like annoyed of stuns. Like, can someone help me out? Like, what is the true reason behind nerfing break? Is
So
it the stun meta?
I actually I made a Reddit post. The title is Brig honestly an overpowered hero?
I saw that.
And it got quite a bit of feedback, and I kind of was expecting everybody to say, "Oh yeah, Brig's super overpowered, nerfer and stuff." But because that's kind of what I thought the majority was. I thought everybody thought that Brig was super overpowered. But some of the comments were really interesting. People are saying that she's not a very high skill cap hero, and so a lot of lower skilled players can play her against higher skilled players. So say you have a like a diamond Genji, for instance,
Right.
and you have a gold Brig or like a silver Brig, she can just as easily defend herself from that diamond Genji as she could from a Genji that was the same level as her. Which is interesting, and people are talking a lot about crowd control and how they think that's a little bit broken.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that too, and I think that a lot of it is misguided. Just a lot of people complain about Brig because of her stuns, but I don't think it's really just because of her stuns. I think it's because of the idea of her, McCree, Doomfist, all stunning you at the same time, and it's like. And then you have Anna Sleep, and you have Sombra Hack.
Right,
and it's just too many.
Yeah.
I think Brig's stun is actually. I personally think it's completely fine, and the way she works, because she, like what you said before about her being people saying that she's not as much of a high skill hero. I think she's kind of in the middle there because she's easier to pick up, similar to like a lot of heroes like Lucio or something, where. He's easy to pick up and just kind of start working. But when it comes to fighting people off, then when you get in high tier fights against really good players, if you don't have people helping you, so like, if you don't have a McCree stunning or an Anna sleeping too, it can be really difficult to even fight a Genji or a Tracer as Brig because they just don't have to get close to you. As long as they stay out of range of your shield, they can just blink around you, and your shield's only, what is it, 500?
Yes.
Yeah, 500 health. So it's like they can do a lot, and because of how small Brig's shield is, then when you attack her from 2 angles,
Yeah, that's true.
She's at a hard point. So it's a lot of. The thing about Brig is it's a lot of at high skill tiers. It's really a lot of knowing what's around you. And knowing when to block, because you can't hold your shield up very long, so you just want to block an attack and then keep going.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people just kind of get angry about that because it's like all the people who were so used to dive meta are just mad because there's a healer they can't really dive.
Yes. So that was one of the other things that people were saying. They were saying that Brig was designed to be an anti-dive hero, which she was.
Yep.
And but other heroes have been, specifically tanks, have been affected by her, such as like Roadhog or Reinhardt,
Yes.
which is kind of a side effect, a bad side effect. So that's kind of the reason they're saying they want something done that would kind of not necessarily nerf her to tanks, yet keep her the same to DPS, but something along those lines that doesn't make her nearly as like she can 1v1 a Reinhardt and win. So that's a little bit overpowered, and just the fact that she can. I know people were talking about maybe not making her be able to shield bash through other people's shields and stun them to take their shield stuns.
Yeah. I think a nice change for Brig would just be, and I think this would be a good change for a lot of interactions, is just changing interactions with tanks to give them more priority. So like, a Brig stopping a Reinhardt charge. I don't think anything should be able to stop Reinhardt charge. Like, I don't see a reason that is in the game.
What about a Doomfist? What about that?
Well, a Doomfist like that, I can kind of see that. Like, I take that back. A Doomfist charge and a Reinhardt charge makes sense, but
everything else.
Shield bash, because the thing about the Doomfist charge, it's a lot harder to land than Brig or McCree.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to do that, and also be in the right position as Doomfist. The Doomfist generally isn't in the position to do that even, It's the problem really is it's the same as what I was saying before with people mad about Brig. It's not that they're really mad about Brig. They channel it at that character because she's new. Yeah. They're just mad that there's so many things that are, taking control away from them when they're playing. So many stuns. Yeah, it's just, they need to make the interactions a little bit less harsh so that they're not, stopping people's skills as much.
Right. I'd be curious for those in the comments. who is the most OP hero? Is it Brig or Doofus? Or heck, maybe it's Torb. I don't know. Like, he recently got
Torb's
buffed.
super OP.
And as of
That
today,
character
on
needs to get-
October 24th, he is now in comp. So, I mean, that's going to change up
Ooh, he's
competitive
in
a little.
comp?
That,
He
what's-
is as
what's
of
the
today.
24th?
Jeez, that's great.
Today's 24th. Yep. So now you got to wonder: are people still going to flame people for playing Torb on attack?
Well,
It has
actually,
changed.
I don't know if you guys heard. Who was it? It wasn't Taimu. Some OWL player got his account suspended because he got reported so many times for playing Torb in top 500. That was today.
I remember that.
If I can find it.
Oh, that was today. Oh man, I remember
Yes.
the best Torb player back in 2016 got banned within like 11 months of the game opening.
Jeez.
What?
It was crazy. Yeah, he was our true. I'm a Torb main for people watching this podcast. Yeah, he was our true mentor.
Hero.
True hero. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great man. I used to be a Torb main until Hammond and Brig released, and then my passion
Oh,
grew.
that's right. You flopped.
I couldn't pass it up, man. Rolling around a hamster ball and friggin' running around brawling everything as Brig. I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up in that one. And
Good topic.
yeah. Well, leave comments below on what would you like to see us talk next week. Thank you, Sholor and I've got for being on the episode of MixedVibes today.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And for you guys out there, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of these podcasts. Remember, MixedVibes, Positivity and I, over here to entertain you. Thanks for watching.